Hello everyone, this is Fred Robledo, the San Gabriel Valley Tribune Prep Sports Editor. We are talking the Mid-Valley Division Championship game on Saturday night. This is going to be 7 o'clock. San Gabriel 9-4 against Monrovia 10-3. Monrovia, the defending champions. We have talking about it on my left, Aram Talegian, the SGVN Prep Sports football writer, and Miguel Melendez, the Pasadena Star News Prep Sports editor. Guys, take it away. San Gabriel, the big underdog, Monrovia, going for its second straight championship. Aram?
Yeah, I first want to say congratulations to both San Gabriel and Monrovia and to the west side of town, which takes it on the chin a lot when it comes to the Valley's kind of football dominance. These are two west side teams, two Pasadena Star News area teams, an Almont team and a Rio Hondo League team that are in the championship game. And, there's no Valle Vista League team in there, obviously, no Montview League team, no Mission Valley League team. So congratulations to them. It's a true show of strength for that side of town. Having said that, and having seen these two teams in the playoffs, I can't help but think this is going to be one kind of boring game, Miguel. It's going to be a blowout.
Oof. It definitely has the potential to become a blowout. But San Gabriel has not been given a chance throughout these playoffs. We picked them against Maranatha. People picked them, I think, against Arroyo, and then against San
against
Dimas,
them, you mean?
Against San Gabriel, to lose against Arroyo, and then they go and then they didn't have a chance against San Dimas again after that blowout in week 3. And here they are again in the championship game. Nobody giving them a chance, and this is like that Muir team that just feeds off of this us against the world kind of mentality, and this is how it's been all year long. Everybody thought, where's this team going with that really what it was a horrible start, and then go into league, get some momentum, and then here they are in the playoffs making their finals run for the first time since 2003.
Right.
I hope it's an upset. I don't see it happening. I hope it's a close game.
Why do you hope it's
because as a writer, it's nice to write these kind of cool stories. I hate blowouts. Last year, I covered Monrovia against Whittier Christian. Had my story done by the third quarter. I don't like blowouts. Like I said, I hope it's a close game. I just don't see it happening. Looking at what I've seen, what San Gabriel has done over the last 3 weeks, games that they've won: 9-3 over Maranatha, 40-38 over Arroyo, and 29-28 over San Dimas. Then you look on the flip side with Monrovia, what they've done: 24-7 over Pomona, 67-21 over Whittier Christian, and then they dismantled Covina 41-27. I mean, two complete extremes, and that just leads me to believe that this, like you said, could be a blowout.
Well, let me ask you this too, Aram, because when you talk about San Gabriel, I think that all of us probably penciled them out in the first round against Maranatha. They win. Yeah. I think a lot of us thought against Arroyo, that second round game against Arroyo, a lot of us picked them to lose that game and they go ahead and win. I think any of us thought they were going to make up a 53 points against San Dimas in the semifinals. They win. Yeah. And San Dimas is a team that beat Monrovia. So why do you think this is going to be such a boring game when you give them no chance?
Going back to those games, I picked against them in those games just like everybody else did, but I was not, I didn't think they had no shot in those games. And the reason why I don't think they have any shot on Friday night, or that their best shot, is if Monrovia, turns the ball over 5 times and screws around and all these kinds of things. The reason why is because I just don't think Monrovia is really a Mid-Valley Division team. I think they're a lot better than that. I think they're a Southeast Division team that could compete in a lot of other divisions, whereas San Gabriel is definitely a Mid-Valley team. They are the epitome of a Mid-Valley team. A couple star players, tough guys built around them. And they kind of make things go. But when you look, 1 through 11 on each side of the ball, Monrovia just owns that dominance-wise. And the same things that hurt Covina last week are going to be in play here. Outside of maybe one defensive back, San Gabriel's not going to match up to Monrovia's receivers. San Gabriel's defensive line, it's nice. They've tried hard. They've come up with big plays. They have some nice players. Covina's defensive line was very good. They couldn't get to Hayworth. And when you have that combination of not being able to pressure Hayworth and those kind of athletic advantages on the outside that Monrovia has, it spells blowout.
Yeah, I think you're right. And, one thing you got to look at what San Gabriel has done, I think each of those games that they've relied on that last-second drive, on the last-minute drive, whether it's on offense with Guerrero making that incredible pass against Arroyo, or, stepping up on defense against San Dimas to stuff them on that 2-point conversion attempt. I think that Monrovia, you Jude Oliva said earlier this week that San Dimas was the most complete team they faced all year. Well, guess what? Now they play a Monrovia team that's probably the most talented in all of this division, given the way they've played.
By far the most talented.
No question about that. And that Blake Haywood has seen so much protection up front. San Gabriel has to make sure that guys like Mackenzie Farrell, Carlos Purser, Hunter Garcia, and even like a Joshua Baca, guys who have combined for, I think, 22 of the 26 sacks, they need to provide that pressure up front to try and flush Blake Haywood out of the pocket. If they do that, that puts him out of his element, and maybe they have a chance.
Yeah.
Offensively, Andy Guerrero is going to have to be like Houdini, getting away from the rush, trying to avoid the sag, getting out of the pocket. He's going to have to find ways to make plays because all of his receivers are probably going to be covered with Deshaun Ramirez, Luke Williams, Anthony Kraft. They're just loaded in the secondary.
Yeah.
How Alice Villalobos gets free in that secondary, it's going to be almost impossible. Yeah. It can happen. Monrovia also can fall under the penalty spell that San Dimas did last week with 17 penalties, negating big plays, long yardages that really took the wind out of their sail. If that happens, and this game is closed in the third quarter, I think anything happens. But I just don't see how something like this can turn that way.
You know what I've learned at Miguel, just watching these playoffs, is what we've seen in September and October really doesn't make any difference come November and December. You do see teams improve a lot. I watched Monrovia play last week against Covina, and they were nothing like the team I saw earlier in the year lose to South Hills. It looked like all of the pieces were rolling. Blake Hayworth looked great at quarterback. It just seemed like everyone had their defined roles, and they were playing. They were having a lot of fun and just imposing themselves on Covina. And I know San Gabriel, they must have improved a lot. I haven't seen them the whole year, but it's hard for me to imagine, Airman, you saw Monrovia last week. It's hard for me to imagine San Gabriel I know they're improved, but it's hard to imagine them being as improved as Monrovia. When you think of both of these teams improved and the talent level that Monrovia has, I think you're right. I think San Gabriel has been great to this point, beating the teams they beat, but I think this is too tall a task.
Let me explain it to you like this. There's the two levels of improvement are this. Yeah. San Gabriel has improved from being a team that was getting blown out by good teams, San Dimas, and so on, to now being the type of team that doesn't get blown out, but they're not blowing anybody out themselves, other than Alhambra. They've improved from being the team that was getting blown out to now winning close games. Monrovia has improved from a team that was losing close games to a team that's now blowing everybody out.
And blowing out good teams.
There's a big difference. There's a huge difference there, okay? San Gabriel has brought itself kind of up to par and proven very savvy, in terms of being able to pull out close games, which they've done over good teams. You can never take that away from them. But Monrovia has now proven that instead of playing down to the competition and getting in these tight games, they are now just blowing those teams out. Covina was the second best team in the division. There's no reason that this game, other than Monrovia screwing it up, is close, unfortunately, for San Gabriel, unfortunately for Monrovia. Fred, when I see Monrovia, I don't find myself sitting there saying, I wonder if this team could beat San Dimas for Covina.
Yeah, I think they could play with West Covina. I think they could play with Charter Oak after what I saw last week.
If they can beat the good teams I've seen this year, I wonder if they could play with Charter Oak, West Covina, like you said, Ahmad even.
We'll go that far.
Who am I missing? When I sat there and looked at Covina all year, I said, I wonder if they could beat, Arcadia.
And that wasn't a fluke. They were just better than
That's
Covina.
the difference. They have a sick collection of talent. It's not a very Mid-Valley-esque sick collection of talent. It's like a good Southeast Championship type collection of talent, and they're just too much.
All right, guys. We're running out of time here. I need your predictions. I think.
You know mine.
We know what Aaron's going to go. Miguel.
I'm going to have to go Monrovia.
We're going to go. That's three people going with Monrovia. This is going to be.
Who's the third, Fred?
I'm going with Monrovia. I mean, I'm not crazy enough to pick San Gabriel.
Okay.
This is Saturday night Mid-Valley Division Championship at Monrovia High School.
7:30.
At 7:30 p.m. I'm sorry, 7:30. Mike, the cousin, will be there live for Cover It Live. Tommy Kiss is going to be there for a wrap-up video and interviews. We'll all be there. It's the Mid-Valley Division Final again, Saturday night at Monrovia High School, 7:30. The whole valley will be there. Hope we see you there.